Shooting cut lead turkey shot, aftermath, and illegalities. William Hovey Smith, 2023.
This is Hovey Smith, the Backyard Sportsman. And today, we're going to get ready for turkey season. That is in regards to Bon Richard. Bon Richard is this model 1777 flintlock 69 caliber smoothbore musket that I built from a kit. And you can see previous videos about that. Well, Bon Richard has had a mixed history thus far. This is not the first smoothbore muzzleloader that I've used for turkey hunting. Far from it. I've taken turkeys with the Brown Bess musket. I've taken turkeys with several replica smoothbores along the way, and even with a 54 caliber blunderbuss. Yep, young up blunderbuss, and I really did it. And this season, we're going to try something different. As everybody is aware, reloading components have been harder to come by these days. And a notable outdoor writer, Brad Harris, remarked on how he was having trouble finding lead shot to make up his loads for this season. Now, he hunts a lot. He represents Loman game calls. So he hunts all the way around the country, and he burns through a large number of turkey loads. Well, I don't. I usually hunt close to home. If I shoot 3 shots at a turkey in a season, I think I'm doing very well indeed. Quite frankly, I sometimes don't fire the gun all season. Or if I do fire it, it's just because it got wet and I needed to put a fresh charge in. So, we are going to use an adaptive lead shot. Now, back on the frontier, if you could not buy lead shot, then you were forced to make your own. And what was commonly done was lead was beaten out in a small sheet and then cut with a knife and chopped up into pieces. And that's exactly what we have right here. Yep. And I have a video from a week ago showing exactly how I produce this shot. Now, how does this shot, which is, to say it's square would be generous. It's an irregular polygonal shapes mostly. We try to keep it down to more or less the size of number 4 shot. Not terribly successfully, I might add. And it really makes a difference when you produce your shot for turkey hunting 1 shot at the time, which we did. And now we're going to compare loads. I'm going to load up Bon Richard with identical loads, one with number 5 lead shot, which I took from a loaded shell, and with the same weight of shot, more or less, with my cut shot. And the reason I say more or less is because this cut shot is very angular and there is more open space in it between this regular blocks of shot and smooth round red balls, which nest a little better. But we're going to try the best we can to get the same weights and the same volume of shot and the same load and shoot them at the same targets at the same distance, and see how far we can potentially take on a turkey with this gun. Well, this gun doesn't have any choke, it can't kill anything. Well, that is absolutely wrong. Not to pick on Brad Harris, but he takes gun riders on hunts. And so he took a gun rider, who will remain nameless, out on a hunt. And they saw a turkey. And the rider missed. No problem, we'll find another turkey, he said. Quack, 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 quack. another turkey. His rider shot. He missed. No problem. We'll get another one. Tromp, 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 tromp. Yak, 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 yak. Boom! He shot. He missed. Why did he miss? The reason is it's become fashionable to use extra full turkey chokes on all turkey hunting. When actually, if you have a caller like Brad Harris and you're ever fortunate enough to go hunting with him, he would be very embarrassed indeed if he can't get a turkey up to between 20 and 30 yards. And sometimes right there, 4 or 5 yards even. Wood. And what that guy is doing, shooting that tight choke, that close, is his pattern is probably no bigger than a $50, which is about that big at that range. Plus, if he's using some of these very heavy turkey loads, guess what? Those loads don't shoot to the point of aim. No. They commonly shoot low. And the heavier load, the lower it will shoot. Consequently, he missed the hell out of those turkeys, all those shots. Well, last time around, turkey came. The rider was very deliberate this time. Cheek, held his gun very, very tight. Aimed, 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 pull, 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 boom! Fluff, fluff, fluff. Finally, he got it done. It took him all day to get that turkey. Well, taking all day to get a turkey is not unusual. But to put 3 missed shots in it is. So, consequently, don't fall for this, guys. If you can call turkeys, you can get them in close enough to take with 1 1/4 ounce or lead shot from almost any 12 gauge gun. But do what I'm going to do right now. Go out and load the gun and shoot it and see where the thing shoots. Do those 2 things. Get your turkey in close. Use normal weights of shot for the gauge. Bang, bang, and you'll get your turkey. Been there, done that one. Now you go do it. There are places where you need extra tight turkey chokes. If you live out in the flat prairie lands and turkeys can see you for an awful long ways, and they're coming across these fields, well, sometimes they will not come in very close. And yeah, there they make some sense. But if you're calling them in the small food plots in woodlands in the eastern half of the country, not usually, unless you're hunting along a power line or something like that, do you have shots that long. Most of your shots are going to be very close indeed. And for these, even cylinder bore guns, no choke at all, will do very well at, say, 20, 25 yards or so. And hopefully you can call your turkey in that close and take it. Well, we had to make up a fairly special load for this gun because the gun is 69 caliber, of which is, say, 14 gauge, 14 balls to the pound. And 14 gauge components are no longer readily available. Well, once they were. There were even 14 gauge shells, but that was decades ago. So, we use 16 gauge plastic wads. Yep. And in these we put 1 1/8 ounce a shot. And the recommended load of black powder for such a load is between 70 and 90 grains. And we're going to use 80 grains. We're going to split the difference. And we're also going to use a cream of wheat buffer. So the load is going to be 80 grains of powder, a cut styrofoam wad. I actually use a piece of cut off barrel, sharpened to make a punch, and then cut styrofoam out of egg crates. And I have videos about this, by the way. And then the wad, then the shot, and another overshot wad, and then we prime it with finer grades of black powder. And that's going to be our load. And we'll do the identical thing with round lead number 5 right here. And our cut shot. And see how they do. How far can I legitimately take on a turkey with this gun, with this load? What we're going to do with these tweezers is pick out the smaller shot So we're looking for something, trying to keep it about the size of a number 4 or smaller, since we actually need shot density in here to make this load work. And we'll continue until we get a load of shot. We have our first target out at 25 yards. And this we're going to shoot with 1 ounce and 1/8 of number 5 copper plated lead shot. A dose of prime in the pan there. Cock, and now we're ready to shoot. The recoil was just fine. And this was a load of 80 grains of FFG black powder, by the way, of the rest of the components. That shot load is pretty good, actually. It did drift a bit to the left, but the density, yes. This density of shot will kill turkey. Okay. This gives us sufficient encouragement to try with the other material. Although, I think I will take my point of aim about here. Because I don't necessarily trust the flight of those projectiles. I've got the camera well away from the target. We've now halved the distance from 25 yards to 13 yards. What did Bon Richard tell us? Well, concerning our cut shot here, it told us at 15 yards could sometimes produce a killing pattern. At 20 yards, no shot at all registered on the target. At 25 yards, a very few shot registered on the target. So if you had to use cut shot, you were limited to very close range. And there was a degree of luck involved. What happened in the shot cup and in the barrel, if you had a large heavy piece of shot located in the bottom of your shot charge, and it was rectilinear, and it was being fired up the barrel and out of the barrel and through the rest of the shot, it would have a higher velocity than the smaller shot above it, and literally would go through the shot column, pushing and bouncing the others out of the way. Woof! So, consequently, if you're going to load mixed sizes of shot, you want your heavier, larger shot here up on top, not on bottom. This will give you tighter patterns. Interesting observation. So if we are limited to 15 yards, we have another problem. And that problem is, in Georgia, we are limited to the size of shot you can use on turkeys. The shot no larger than number 4s. By any measure, this shot is bigger. It is therefore illegal. I may not shoot turkeys with it. So besides being chancy and basically ineffectual beyond 15 yards, it's also illegal. Well, that pretty well ends that experiment, doesn't it? What to do? I have heavy shot. What's effective? There was a little shot drift over in this direction, as you can see, but even aiming at center, yes, that would have killed a turkey at 20 yards. Yes, that can be effective. Then, with number 5 copper-plated shot, well, the shot was again displaced to the right-hand side, but was a good dense pattern at 25 yards. At 25 yards, yeah, there's a high probability of that killing a turkey. So far as load goes. The best feeling and the best shooting load was 1 1/8 ounce of heavy shot and a powder charge of 85 grains of FG. This felt good to the shoulder. It also disturbed the shot cup a little bit, meaning it chewed it up a little bit, which is good. That means we're going at a higher velocity. And it started to melt my styrofoam wads. These are now smaller in diameter than they started out with. So if we're going to use styrofoam wads against the powder, we have to double charge the wads, 2 wads rather than just 1. Otherwise, it went pretty good. So that ends our experiment with cut shot. Glad you enjoyed it. But now, this is Hovey Smith, reminding you to hunt what you eat and eat what you hunt. Be legal, be ethical, be safe. Goodbye, God bless, and see you next time.